Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my precious pack, and welcome back once more to VEGA Conflict, the game that sucks your soul out. Well, we have the Caustic, and I decided that, I'm going to remake this video because I just got done recording it, and I decided that it does not live up to the ship that it is explaining and what it was talking about, because it's an amazing vessel. First off, as you're going to see in the ending, I did break it. As with everything in the game, I have to break it. But before I show that, I just want to go over the stats of it, the weapons, what the fittings are for the vessels, and things like that. So first off, the blueprint right off the bat. Now, I'm going to say something that I want to reiterate from the previous video, which none of you are ever going to see, because I want the first video of this year to be good. First off, a debuffer-designed hull is adept at spreading various status effects amongst enemies, opening them up for more damage. A debuffer features stronger defenses at the cost of offensive prowess over a fighter. Okay, well, that's a complete lie, because the Mark 1 of this thing is outperforming my Mark 4 experimental breakers, to say the least. Outperforming them to the degree that they're not even the same combat field, so them trying to bring up a comparison between the fighters and this thing, I'm sorry, but you guys missed your mark with that one. Actually, I shouldn't be sorry. You missed your mark. First off, it's got good range. It's got basically comparable stats to the Breaker overall, mixed with the Arc. Speed, strafe, turning, everything. And the Prime Shift, it actually has a 3% charge rate, compared to 2% and 2%, so it has a very quick charge rate. That's a good thing, because here's the first one. Conflict Acumen. Now, when you see this, when it says 4,000 health damage, do not worry about that, because as you're going to see, as I'm going to show you, it does damage extremely quickly, it has no issues with it at all. So, stacking overdrive bonus, it gets a 50% damage boost. That's nice! But it already has double damage, because it has twin firing arcs on the front. Prime Shift boosters, what's it get? It has no charge time on energy weapons. So, in the case of something like, say, you decide to use the breach cannon, due to it being an energy weapon, it effectively has no charge up time after its firing cycle, so it just continuously fires, basically. The rush beam just basically fires and then restarts and fires and restarts. Now, the difference between these two and what I love is the overcharge. This is where this one gets broken very, very fast. Over the course of 5 seconds, it will ramp up to double its damage at level 1, and more than double its damage at level 2. And these are overcharge values, so they can theoretically be affected by specials like... Where are you at? The beam overcharge capacitor. The vessel itself also has a built-in bonus of 2 seconds for them. Does this increase with level? Well, let's see. Boom. Overcharge duration, another 200%. It says it puts it in a percent instead of a second. Oh, and as you can see, as you build these up, they get hanger slots. So not only does it have just godly firepower, shielding, and durability, it also has access to more weaponry and squadrons. Now, that's a pretty nice thing, because I don't like the squadrons on the carrier, because they seem kind of useless, especially when you want to fire on different targets, because if you focus fire with the carrier, it also sends the spawns there, and you want the spawns to be spreading out, because you want them to be dealing with the closest target. So, that's a good thing that they have squadrons as well, because that means you can single out targets. Now, I still don't like the squadrons, I still think they're kind of trashy, but when you have some pretty nice little bonuses, such as... I don't like the Pursuit Squadron because their stasis is trash, but in the case of Weapon Disruption, in the case of the Inferno, you can strap a few Infernos to the back of these things, or maybe one Inferno and one Pursuit, even though Pursuit isn't all that good, you'll still get stasis and stuff, but they don't move very quickly, they don't hit very hard, they're not very durable, so yeah, didn't like them on the carrier because they get burned down too quickly, and yeah. But today's all about the Caustic. Let's go ahead and let's get out in a fight real quick, because I want to try and keep this video to about 10 minutes. So, let's head on out. Okay, now, I've already seen how this combat plays out, but for those of you that haven't yet, you're in for a treat, trust me. Now, I like to see if the vessels themselves can farm the blueprint targets, because that's how I like to do things. And all I have to say is, they can in fact farm their blueprint targets, and they can do so very, very reliably. Now, why do I have the AI disabled? Because I want them to remain relatively still while they're working. They're not overpowered. I'm not gonna lie, they're not overpowered in the slightest. It's not like they're just casually vaporizing everything without a single issue at all. The only issue is they've got an incompetent commander flying them, i.e. me. Now, they're extremely fast, they have an extremely quick reload time, they have, a recharge time. They have everything you would want from a very, very fast attack vessel. And it's amazing, just watching them work, watching them do their magic. And all I have to say is the built-in thing, it clears spawns quickly. Now let's head back to base real quick. Well, once we're out of combat, that is. They're currently on their way back. But all I have to say is, I'm extremely excited for this vessel, but I am not really going to be a fan of the upgrade targets, because if the vessel is this good, and since it's going to be recommended, I have a feeling targets are going to be extremely overpowered. We're just going to have to wait and see, though. Let's take a look at that repair time. Extremely low repair time, basically. A minute to 2 per vessel. Yep, this is basically what we have. This is what our vessels are in the game at this point. Now, overall, I love the vessel. Aesthetically, not so much due to the propellers on it. But aside from that, it's got amazing damage output. It's got debuffs going for it. I never even fully went over it, did I? I just skimmed over it. That's how amazing it is to me. And I mean, again, this is the first video of the year, so this is definitely going to be something. Modifiers, I went over just a bit of them, but the prime shift, what it does, I went over it, but I didn't go over the active ability, which was that energy weapon that you saw with the stasis. And I failed to go over the damage bonuses. It features the same 50% that you see on the breaker. It does not feature what you see on the switch, though. But I mean, they're both double firing arc vessels, so that's understandable. Shield recharge, though, it's better than the breaker. It's better than everything, actually. Yeah, it's better than them all. And it's only Mark 1. But so far, as you upgrade it and you get access to the better weaponry and whatnot, it just gets better and better. And when you start mixing in the specials and stuff like that, it'll only become better and better. Now, in the case of the Deadeye, I will be revisiting it, because now I have a very, very, very interesting energy weapon. First off, you can't miss with an energy weapon. Well, more specifically, you can't miss with beam weapons, because they're an auto-tracker. They hit where you're firing, they just don't miss. So that's definitely something to look forward to. So, mix them on Deadeyes with beam capacitors and things like that. But for now, that's going to be it. I've had my fun. I've said my part. Now it's time for all of you to say your part. What do you think of the Caustic? How many of you have it? How many of you need it? How many of you want it? Because that's definitely something I want to do. This month, I decided that rather than just popping in randomly throughout the day and opening stuff, I'm going to be helping to get people stuff actively, especially during an event. The event ends tomorrow, so if you guys want me to help you get it, you definitely need to say so. But I think I've talked on long enough because the video is now more than 10 minutes long, so not what I wanted to do. But oh well. As you can tell, I'm excited for the content of the game, well, specifically this vessel, and helping the community out. But as for other games, well, I've got World of Tanks stuff, World of Warcraft stuff. There are billions. I've got a bunch of stuff that I've recorded and planned, but for now, thank you for joining me, everybody. Be safe out there and avoid my pack. Happy hunting, and as always, I'll see you later. Now, you all know me well enough that by now you should understand I cannot end a video without destroying these things. And so they shall be.